Okay, solar YouTubers, this is just going to be a different kind of video. And I didn't feel like going home right now. I just, just feel like walking around. So where I am at is called Mill Dam, all right? And it used to be, I'm going to walk up to there and show you. You see where this little berm is? That's where the creek used to be at one time. So this was 150 years old. I show you the used to be a mill. Used to be, you can see the remnants right over there, and then the remnants right there. It used to be a concrete wall that went back. It was a dam. And back in back in high school, elementary school, we used to ride our bikes up here. Because don't forget, I was born in the 80s. I was born in the 70s. So we didn't have parents telling us what to do, where to go. We had to be home by the street lights. I had to be in the yard by the street light. So we would come in up here all the time. And let me show you here real quick. This is just a little remnant of what's left. Yep, used to be a wall. Basically, it came straight across. Okay, right about in this area. And then so this side of the creek was high. You can tell where the creek used to be. And it's been like this for 150 years. Then on this side used to be just like it is now. But what was cool was when the water overflowed the dam, came straight down, that was literally a shower. So we would be playing hot as, this hot. Come down here, we'd just take a dive in the creek. We would, have that waterfall. And then the brave ones, I did it one time, and I almost shit my pants. I was probably 12, 13, somewhere in there. I walked across the dam. If you fell off, it was about a 25, 30-foot drop. If you fall off the other way, you're in the water, but there might be some kind of undertow. Don't know. Nobody ever fell off. Nobody ever fell off. So, and this up here is Park Avenue. Here back in, was it, I want to say 97-ish. There's another bridge farther down the road. And they were working on the bridge, and they threw all the material into the creek, and they was just going to clean it up later. So they literally created a dam in the creek, and then we had this big storm, big pop-up storm, flash flood, all that. And the water was just above that, just below that bridge, and you could not see where the dam was. Back then, we didn't have video cameras and cell phones like we do now. So it was just like pure water. I mean, just solid. It was pretty remarkable. But I just want to show you some history here of Terre Haute. I just like going home right now. So I'm just walking this park here. It's called Mill Park. And so what they did here was a big, I'll show you here in a minute, pictures, but it was like a water wheel. And they used to grind grain and corn and stuff like that. And that house up there used to be where I sewed everything. It was a big fire, it burned down, and we used to walk. It used to be totally different, but the fence was never there. There was never a fence there, period. And used to be a nice little room down in there. But I think we see a remnants of that room. Come back here and see, because the water used to be a channel that the water cut off. Used to be, I want to see it, but used to be water used to cut off this way. Yeah, we don't see it no more. I filled all this in. But the water used to run down. You see that little, let me get up here. You see that little archway? That's where the water used to go out, and the wheel used to sit right here. There used to be a room that we used to, you see sun come of it a little bit. It used to be a nice little room. It was big, all had a nice concrete roof and all that. But I think, if I remember right, some girls got raped in there or something like that. I don't know exactly. Something bad happened in there. And they just tore it all down. And then here, this is about a couple years ago, they tore that down. They were saying because of some kind of fish that lives in this creek. And this is Otter Creek. And basically, this fish, I think this is like 125 years old or 150 years old. This dam has been here. It's been over 100 years. And so they were trying to say it's some kind of to restore the natural balance of the creek, of the fish and stuff. So, but that's a bunch of BS. It's been over 100 years, so that natural thing is different. Now this here is one of the major railroad tracks here in the Midwest. There is a line that goes from Chicago, Illinois, and runs right down to Jacksonville, Florida. And there's another line that runs from literally like Pittsburgh-ish. It runs up and through Indianapolis. It comes down through here, Terre Haute, and it heads off there to St. Louis area. So here in Terre Haute, there is like literally a 2-mile stretch where the north and south, east and west line literally run parallel to each other. So it's only a few other times in the country where that happens, but we have a lot of train traffic. So what we used to do back in the day, don't forget the water was up this high. It was up here, it was up, not quite up here, but it was up here. So we used to jump off this damn railroad trestle here. Back then we did stupid stuff, but the water was high. And so I don't remember ever seeing this in the water, but don't forget the water was, was up. You kind of see that brownish there. That water was right below that. It was like right there, that line. That's where the water was. That's how pretty much high it was. Maybe not, maybe it's a little bit one down. Maybe it's like right there, but that's how high this water was. And so we're going underneath this train. I hope a train comes, seriously. And we just stand right underneath this. We used to hop right up in there and wait for a train to come. And it's like right over, it's inches above your head. And then we used to walk on these across the creek there because the creek was high. Let me get down here before let's see if I break my neck getting down through here. So, yeah, all of this was high. I mean, all this was underwater for the most part. And then we would literally get we'd get up there on top, but most of the time we'd get down under the creek there on these trestles and we just drop down into the creek. But the water was high enough. You can see where the water used to be. You can see that ledge up there. But it was high enough where you could drop down into the creek and you won't hit none of these rocks. But yeah, it was pretty back when we were kids. It was awesome. I thought I would just show you guys this video just to kind of be something a little different, kind of different content. Like I said, I just didn't want to go home, today, and I got the same routine I do all the time, so I thought I would just come down here. I remember when I was a kid, my dad would be fishing here, and I'd be seeing this train going up above these tracks, and I'm like, oh my God, that was so awesome. I'm kind of into trains. I love trains. If I really could get a job being an engineer or conductor, I will. Or even working on the equipment. So yeah, see all that wood. So yeah, all this bricks, all this I don't think was ever in there. What I think this is what's left over from the dam. They just threw it here. But as you can tell that it's kind of deteriorating a little bit. Pillars. Like I said, we're down here, so I believe that the water was probably up to that line right there, up in that area. Maybe a little bit higher when it got flooded. But yeah, where I'm standing now, I've been in water. I've been almost over my head in water. So here's a little stagnant pond here. Trying to get back up this hill is becoming hilarious for me not falling my butt. It's all wet. All right, so let's walk back up here. And not a whole lot of people come here. That's I don't know, a lot of traffic. We walk over here. That's just a little box. Now you can walk up there on that, but railroad can get you for trespassing. So we walk up here to some kind of a high voltage, some kind of a box. It says broke on there, but I'm not touching it. Let's get up this hill real quick. Yeah. Man, this is steep. So this is what the tracks look like. Going up over the creek, and we used to walk here all the time, and there was never a rail on the other side. We just jump down there and jump on the creek and have fun. Let's see if I don't fall down here and go boom. Fun. I got the Jeep today, it's out there. As like I said, I thought I would show you a little part of my town. Park's not big. There's no play equipment down here. We used to bring our girlfriends back in the day out here, stuff like that. Did a lot of fishing here. And that train be right up on that tracks. So, yeah, let's walk up here and take a look at these signs here, so that you guys get to see the history of this park. And of course, you guys will just hit the pause button. Let's see if I can get up there. It's called the Marco Bridge. And get up there on that, and then we step back. I'm just going to pan across a little bit. I'll show you guys this stuff here. It's kind of cool. It's Terre Haute history. There's literally a lot of history in this town. I step back, can you guys see that? Can I get it all in one shot? Maybe. So let's just hold it there for a minute. Basically, you guys can pause it, whatever. I don't know how to actually do this right. And that's what the mill used to look like. Trying to get the whole thing in picture there. You guys hit the forward and backwards on your on your numpad, left and right. And then it had a major fire, so I think that's what the fire used to look like. And then we got this here. And then they're talking to see that house right there. Talking about that house right over there. And there's the house. And then there's this. 1884 house was built. That was pretty impressive. There you go. And when was this built? He was born in 1770. Let's see when this was actually built. Mill was completed in March of 1826. Oh, so hold on. So 10 years after the mill was completed, Marco died. So 10 years would have been what? 1816? Was this built in 1816? Was it that old? Yeah. Yep. Construction was started in 1816. Damn, I didn't think it was that far. Mill was dismantled and piled up in the yard in 1864. September of 1938, it was a fire that destroyed everything. And so it was just a dam was sitting there. So that dam, that's a dam right there. So yeah, there's a lot of history out here. So people come out here for lunch breaks, you know, meet up with your co-worker's wife, you know, stuff like that. Oh, there's play equipment over there. That's cool. So all right, guys, I'll let you go. It's long enough, but this is just kind of a little history. Let's walk up this little hill here. Yeah, we was down below. Let's walk up this little hill up there. See what that is. See what kind of view we get up there. But yeah, I thought I'd do maybe little videos like this every once in a while. Kind of show you the town. This is called North End of Terre Haute, North Terre Haute. If you head out that way, you head up towards Rockville area. Oh yeah, so you get a kind of bird's eye view up here. Yeah, so it's what we got. Yeah, so no train today, guys. It's normally busy. Normally have train under every 5-10 minutes. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and hope you enjoyed this video. I'm trying to do some kind of different kind of content. Be more solar, but just kind of break it up a little bit. And you guys have a great day.